Well, thank you so much for coming in. So what about other things like the cake, the flowers, the DJ, all adds up?
It does all add up, and having a friend or relative who can make a cake for you as well. You don't have to stick with tradition. Having something a little bit different makes it all the more personal. But the DJ in the evening, I think nowadays people are getting a bit tired of the idea of having this chap stood at the front of the room. Nobody can listen or understand, putting together his playlist.
Disco Dave with his lights.
That's it. Peroxide perm.
Yeah.
And I think those days are gone. And the reality is now is that you can plug an MP3 player into any sound system at all, make your own playlist. There's even, if you go on any the major websites, they have recommended playlists for weddings, so you can just literally copy that and put that straight on your MP3 player. Use friends and families. Coming on to photography. Now, as I mentioned earlier on, if you have a non-Saturday wedding, a weekday or a Sunday, photographers will typically probably do it for around about half the price that they would charge on a Saturday. And as well as that, you've probably got friends and family that can take lots of pictures as well, that will capture lots of different moments throughout the day.
Yeah. I've probably got about 3 friends actually probably be fighting over my wedding when it finally arrives. They're good with the cameras.
Well, you can always perhaps rent a few friends out for the day as well.
Yeah. And what about florists as well? Can you go into a florist and haggle for prices?
Well, one of the most recent tips that I picked up was going to, there are actually quite a few flower markets that you can get up early in the morning, have a dry run a few weeks beforehand, and you'll find that you can do it for a fraction of the cost. If you live out or you're having a wedding out in the countryside as well, putting together flowers with straw and other bits and pieces from the countryside can also look really special. And if you're getting married in a church, you can always approach the ladies who do the flowers at church as well, and perhaps won't even charge you for putting together a nice bouquet for you.
Yeah, and I think sometimes as well, if you keep it kind of understated rather than going crazy with bouquets of flowers everywhere, just have a few flowers on the table, just looks really nice, kind of understated, and you can see the other guests across the table.
It does, and remember, it's you that's going to notice it. Not everybody else is going to appreciate all of the time and effort that you've put into it. It's your special day, so, make it count.
So obviously you've told us how we can save money on the wedding dress, but what about the bridesmaid and the men as well?
The men is quite an interesting one because there's very little cost difference now between hiring a suit, and there are so many Indian tailors now in the UK that operate. I had one tailor who did the groom, the best man and 2 other ushers for under £300, and each had made-to-measure suits. Came in, measured them up, it got made out in Thailand, and they were shipped out literally week or 2 before the big day.
That's amazing. What about though if your man doesn't ever wear a suit, so it's going to be the one time he has to get a suit and then never wears it again? Surely you could maybe hire one.
Hiring one, Moss Bros, a lot of high street retailers now offer specific suits that are very, very cheap and very, very credit crunch aware. Marks and Spencers are now starting to do products that are credit crunch aware, and you can actually put together a suit. If you're hiring it, around about £50 to £80, you can hire a suit out. Buying an actual suit off the peg, cheapest one I've seen is around about £114 for a jacket and jacket and trousers.
I think it's better to go and hire it, and then you'd have to get it dry cleaned. You can just send it straight back. Sorted.
You do, but the trouble is with us chaps is that we always come away with chucking something down it, falling over, ripping it, and all those other unidentified drinking injuries that come along as well.
That's just you. That's just you, Michael. And what about as well for the bride? Because obviously you want to make herself feel very special for the day. There's lots of pampering and preparation that has to go into it.
Well, beauty treatment as well. A lot of girls, you must have friends that are very good at doing makeup. I've had a couple of examples where people have paid a professional and been really disappointed, and of course they're too embarrassed to say that they're disappointed with the outcome of it. So have a dry run a couple of weeks beforehand and try your couple of friends and see what works. And there's the same for makeup, which we talked about beforehand.
Yeah, and I suppose hair, just get someone to come around with the curling tongs and do it yourself.
It is, and it's actually the old school hairdressers, the ones that you see the old ladies go to, they're more experienced at actually pinning hair up than some of the modern salons are. So often give them a go.
Well, Michael, thank you so much for coming in and sharing your top tips with us.
Well, thanks for having me on, and I'd just like to say to viewers at home, if they want to get any more information, they can pull down a wedding planner's spreadsheet off the website, and also all of the tips that we've talked about as well are all listed up there.
Great. Under £5 grand. You set the challenge. I'm sure you can do it.